Okay. Now I'm going to talk about something that I don't know. You may go for, you may not go for. I don't recommend doing it, unless you've got an iron will. But at first anyway, I do. I've done it. In fact, in order for me to try to get into ketosis, because if you fall off the wagon, it sometimes, it can take you several days to get into ketosis, but then you still have the keto flu to deal with. I like to try to get all my pain up front done ahead of time. So I would fast for a couple of days, and because if you're not eating anything, then there's nothing to draw upon aside from your fat stores. You're burning up all the glycogen in your muscles, all that sugar that's in there and in the liver. But the purpose of this video is talking about fasting. Now, there's this thing called intermittent fasting. Okay. Now, it's not really as big a deal as what you would think. Now, I don't recommend doing it at first, but say after you've been on the diet for a month or two, and let's say you feel like you're hitting a rough spot, and for some reason you're not losing like you think you ought to. One good way to start to hit it is to try the intermittent fasting. Now, again, this is kind of I think a throwback to the way our bodies were designed to do. Intermittent fasting is not like you go fasting for days at a time. It's something where you have a set window of time every day that you eat. And it can be as long or short, I suppose, as you want it to be. But basically, like if you don't eat breakfast in the morning and all you eat is lunch and dinner within like an 8-hour period, well, you're kind of doing an intermittent fasting by doing that. You're fasting for 8 hours, you're eating for 8 hours, fasting for 16 hours. Let's get that right. Now, of course, now some people might not be able to do it because they get hungry so often. My wife, she's got, with her diabetes, she has to take medication. And if she doesn't eat every so often, her medication will make her blood sugar drop. And she'll get sick. And so she has to eat every so often. So it wouldn't work for her, at least not while she's taking her medication. Now for me, I was, it's not a big deal for me. I have a window. My window is 4 hours. So I do intermittent fasting myself. Now I've also done regular fasting. Not just for diet purposes, but let's see, I don't know if you can see this. This is where I've lost some weight right here. Let me get it where you can see that. See all that loose skin right there? That's a lot of loose skin. Dr. Jason Fung has talked about fasting, and he talks about how it can help shrink loose skin. Don't know if he's full of shit or not, but I mean, some people that are in this, into this kind of thing, seem to think highly of him on some level. So I'm willing to experiment, but so far it's like my main goal for losing weight, though, is the intermittent fastings portion, where I just say if I was to get up at 8 in the morning or something like that, do most of my day stuff, and maybe even go walking for a while, come home, say at 4 o'clock, eat at 4 o'clock, and stop eating by 8 o'clock and don't eat anything else. Okay? You get all your eating done within that 4-hour window. You can make the window smaller. You can, if you want to, you can just eat once a day and let that be it and get all your calories in right there. I can't do that for the most part if I was trying to get in my calories, because I did have a gastric bypass, which means I cannot eat more than a certain amount at a time or I'll make myself sick. So I do have to spread mine out a little bit if I want to get the full calories. But I'm not looking to starve myself to death in doing so, which is why I've got a 4-hour window. And it's worked out. Obviously, it's worked out well, or I wouldn't have lost, 88 pounds in the last 6 months. So, but I have fasted, done a full fast a few times for a week at a time, just to see how it felt. It didn't bother me. I didn't feel sick, didn't feel weak. It didn't seem to hurt my metabolism. Now, there is one thing that he said about the fast, that he was recommending. It wasn't where you did not consume anything, it's where you consume such a low amount of calories. Say something like bone broth or something around 200 calories, or maybe an avocado, just a single avocado a day or something like that. Which I think would probably work out pretty well. But I'm not saying this for you all to do it. I don't expect you all to do it. I am willing to put my body on the line, because I just want to see if I can get rid of this, okay? This is awful. And sadly, insurance will not cover the removal of that. That's something I'm going to have to see if I can't work it out, or I'm going to have to live with it. But his explanation, though, is doing an actual fast. Your body, he says, your body is smarter than you think it is, and that's a lot of things people have said are not necessarily true, and that what your body, before it will break down muscle and some other stuff in order to get the protein or whatever it needs, it will actually start breaking down things like like your skin, that's the unnecessary things. And I'm willing to give it a shot, I suppose. But I think I'm gonna, before I really set in on it, I want to get my weight off first. I want to get as much down, because right now I've got so much fat. I still got enough fat on me. I'm technically, I would say I'm about 50 pounds overweight still. I think, although I think my loose skin might be equal to about I don't know, 10 to 15 pounds of that. So I still got quite a bit, but I'd like to get down I want to get my body fat level a lot lower, so it would have to draw on my flesh, my skin, if I was going to try that. But it's supposed to have other health benefits as well. I mean, people have been doing fasting for millennia, for health benefits. So, so I'm going to experiment later on, farther into my weight loss. But I think I've probably exhausted most of the stuff. Again, I'm going to make sure that I leave some books that you might want to read to find out more about this. Again, if you take anything from these lips on face value, well, let's say I'm relatively confident that I'm right in what I'm saying, but the thing is just to back me up, make sure you read it, glean it for yourself. I don't want to lead anybody down a path that they might hurt themselves. That's not what I'm about, and I want everybody to, be healthy. Okay. Make sure I spit it out there. Okay. All right. That's enough for this video. See you.